Hey, what's up? What's going on? It's your girl Mary Jane. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'll be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, my peace, my peoples. So let's talk about Ballers. Ballers season 3, episode 5. Crack back. Oh my goodness, crack back. Like, yeah, everything is like falling apart for each and everybody. Like, somebody has something that's going on that is not a good look. That's something that is discomforting and leaves them in a miserable place. So we start off with Spencer. He's talking to his girlfriend Chloe, and basically, they're at the airport. Chloe is taking a morning after pill. Spencer kind of, apologized for, coming. He he apologized for shooting the club up, and everything like that. So, Chloe, she has the morning after next pill in her hand. She's about to take it. It's so hard for her to open. Then Spencer's like, hey, wait a minute, don't take it. What have you ever thought about me and you having kids, having a family, or something like that? So Chloe was like, nah, not really, but what's good? And she was like, so are you feeling this way because of your midlife crisis? Or you just really want to have a family, have a baby, actually be married, and take care of your child, change Pampers, be a family man. And Spencer kind of just pauses. He kind of just shuts up because he doesn't know if he really wants that, but he really wants the child, but he doesn't know if he really wants the responsibilities. And it kind of like shocked him. He was in a moment at a place where he had no answer, so he just kept quiet, which in his position, it seems like he wouldn't keep quiet. He would try to convince Chloe to have a baby because sooner than later, his sperm is not going to be any good for nobody. He's going to be shooting out blanks. But does he really want a child? Now we don't know if he really wants to leave his legacy behind with a child. So, Chloe is like, well, so I guess the business, and that's more important than that. Then Joe's creeping back. He's creeping, he's back, and he's in the corner, and he's looking. He was like, and so then Chloe leaves, and Joe was like, I would have came over there and interrupted you guys, but it seemed like it was kind of getting deep over there, and I didn't want to, be waist deep in somebody else's bullshit, and so he was like, oh, so you know what? Focus on the deal, Spencer. Take your mind off of the PUSS. Take your mind off of that. Focus on the deal because this is it. We don't got time for you to screw up. We don't got time for your breakdowns. We don't got time for you not to figure out what you want right now. So take your mind off of her and get back in the game because this is it, my buddy. This is it. So, he tells Spencer that, and so then after that, the guys, they get into the limo because Spencer's going to the meeting with the owners, and when they get in the limo, you hear Too Short playing, and then at the end of the show, you hear I just forgot his name. He's from New York. And you hear him in the background, and Troy Ave, but also, they back to playing more music. Last episode, they didn't play too much music, but this episode, they're playing music because it's falling down around everybody. So Spencer, he gets in the car with this limo driver. The limo driver is kind of like asking Spencer questions, and they're talking, and the limo driver is a Raiders fan, and he also realized that The Rock doesn't have any children, and basically he's talking about family and talking about values, and basically working on Spencer's heartstrings, basically to get him to realize that family is important, but not knowing that it's really important to Spencer because he's shooting out blanks. So, or he's shooting out semi blanks. His sperm count is low. So he's showing Spencer the most important side of life as family, not just business deal, having a family going home to, having wife, having kids, having grandkids, and being a family man. And that's where Spencer had froze up when he was talking to Chloe about actually being a real father. So now he's seeing it from this guy perspective, and he's kind of figuring out maybe it might not be too bad, but Spence. So, then after that, Spence gets ready to go to, the meeting with the owners. And then he finds out that there is somebody else, a competition or a competitor that's actually competing with Spencer on the deal. And he has more money and more stuff. I believe it's Mr. Andrews' brother because he knows about the deal. He knows everything about the deal. Or it's just the league, and the league is supporting this other person that's coming up against Spencer, and basically they don't feel like Spencer has clean hands, and the league doesn't really like Spencer, and they don't like him trying to leave the league out of the situation, not playing ball with the league and trying to do it on his own, and plus he doesn't have that great of a reputation. So Spencer's like, he's pissed, he's upset, he's mad because he's like, damn, he got this far, now somebody else is cutting his throat. He ended up laying off people at ASM, and he has them people that are hanging on the hook once, they won't have a job, and then his sperm count, and then people going against him. Powers that be. So they're gonna, they already went after, Vern, and his suspension. They didn't make it a full suspension with the, with the weed or whatever. And so, and then the Cowboy coach owner goes, good thing, thank you for keeping Spence off the pipe, off that weed. I was just laughing when he said that in front of Candace, the league lady, because Spencer bumps into her before he actually goes to the meeting. So Spencer, he's still in the throne, he's still in the running for this big Vegas deal, but it seems like a lot of things are going to happen. It's going to clash. People are going to switch sides. And he's watching the sports shows and things like that, and they're talking about, yes, the deal's in, no, the deal's off. So Spencer's just like, he doesn't know where his life is turning at this point. It's all confusion. And so after that, Joe gets out the limo. He tells Spence, hey, listen, don't you call Chloe. Focus on the game. You just laid off people, blah, blah, blah. Get your mind back in the game. And so Joe goes inside I think the hotel or the bar, and he ends up talking to Candace, and basically he thanks her for Vernon having his suspension be less and everything. And she was like, oh, well, thank you, so I'm not such an evil B-word at all like everybody else says that I am. And so Joe under his breath, and he's thinking, yes, you are. And basically she was just saying that, I can't tell you what's going on, Joe. But it also seems like Candy likes Spencer, or does she want to be involved with him, or she just like cracking his back? Or is she made to crack his back by the league? Or do she want to rub elbows with Spencer? Because it seems like there's some chemistry going on between them, but I'm not too sure. What do you guys think? You think any chemistry between Spence and Candace? So Candace is like, yo, listen to Joe, you guys ain't gonna win. You can't win. They won't let you win. They're not gonna let you win. The league is not gonna let you scumbags win. Basically, that's what Candace is saying in so many different words. Then we cut back to, Spence. He's with the limo driver. The limo driver is telling him about how the Raiders, how much a bigger fan of Raiders fan he is, and how the Raiders help the kids. How, the most important things is people jobs and things like that, and having him understand, like, the Raiders mean a lot to this community. The Raiders bring money into this community. And so the limo driver takes Spence and Joe to a rib shop, Joe spot, I think it's Joe barbecue spot or something like that, and they eat barbecue ribs. The food looks good and things like that. And they're talking about, like, this place is always packed when the Raiders come to town. Basically, they're showing that taking the Raiders away is going to take money out of people's pocket, people that depend on the game and depend on people coming from tourists and out-of-state people and people buying tickets, and how it helps each and every person in the community, not each and every person, but some of the small businesses, and give hopes and put smiles on little kids' faces. Basically, all the okie doke stuff to make you want to change your mind thinking you're making a bad deal. With Spence, I think this deal is way bigger than Spence. I don't know if Spence is able to, really see this deal through with all his drama that he has going on, and then not being able to focus, so many different things going on, and not really having a stable plan. But one thing you can't say about Spence, no matter how the pitfall comes and the holes come, the holes, not the hose, but holes, pitfalls for him to fall in, and obstacles, he's always able to maneuver his way out and make it look like he knows what he's doing. But some people feel like he don't know what he's doing at all. And so, Spence is like feeling it. Joe's feeling it, like, oh, yes, we're going to be taking this away. So then they get the limo driver to take them to the Raiders stadium or whatever. And the driver's like, this ain't Sunday. This ain't the daytime. This is a bad neighborhood. You sure you want to stay here? So Joe and Spence, they jump the gates and the fence to I guess to get the feeling of the Raiders, getting the feelings of the deal, or if it's a good deal or not. But I don't know why he's going back down memory lane when he's trying to move them to Vegas. So I guess he's trying to see if he's actually really making the best idea. Is this the best deal, or what can he do to make this idea even better? Because now he has to pitch a whole new idea to the owners and to the league about this Vegas deal. They want more substance, and his and him presenting the deal to presenting the deal to them about Vegas. They want a more PowerPoint. They want a more elaborate deal, spilled out on the table for them to really get the clarity of what, Spencer and Joe and Roger wants. And basically, Candace tells, Spencer, maybe your boss won't have to sell his company because it's a shame, because they don't really think it's going to go through. And so she also says, you're not supposed. She said, look at everybody around in this room. You don't belong here, Spencer. And then Spencer goes, you don't belong here too. She goes, I know. That's why I was hoping that you get on the plan, and then you join and you emerge with your competitor. And I think the competitor is actually Andrew's brother or whatever. But Spencer throws a shot back at her. I don't belong here. You don't belong here either, because you're black, and then on top of that you're a woman. And she goes, yeah, I understand that. You like, yeah, I know. So that's why I want you to join the team. But it also seems like if Spencer was it doesn't seem like it's up to her. It's up to the powers that be, because she tells him that the power, they won't let you win. They don't want you to win. And so we'll see what happens with that. But do you think that Candace has some type of clout where she can help, Spencer out if she really wanted to? Because, she did go after his plays, but I don't know if it's her personally or if it's them sending her to do their dirty work. And Spencer apologized to Candy and was like, Candace, I never did anything wrong to you. He was like, I don't go around grabbing girls, PUSS wise or butts. Basically, he was throwing a shot at Donald Trump. So she goes, I forgive you. No problem, no big deal. So Spencer thinks that maybe there's still some good faith. He thinks maybe the deal will still go through. And then Spencer ends up talking to Hastings, and Hastings tell him that, hey, listen, I'm going to join your competitors. I'm not on your team anymore. So, Spencer is really in a shithole. It's like everybody is backing out on him. Who does he have left in his corner? And is this deal even going to succeed? Because now they need property, they need land. So him going to visit the Raiders stadium maybe is going to give him an idea to do something else to keep the Raiders there. Is he going to go against his own deal that he put through, or is he going to stick it out and try to continue with this deal even though Hastings backed out and the league is going against him and going to come at his players and his team and his management company? So let's see what happens. And so we get to Ricky. Ricky is just acting up, Ricky calls his baby's mom and he tells her that he loves her, he misses her, and all this other stuff. He can't wait to see her. And then TD, he hears it in the background. He goes, what's wrong with you? Are you taking your medication? He was like, yeah, I am taking my medication. Well, you need to stop taking it then, or you need to cut down on your dosage. You don't need to take that much, because how are you going to tell your baby mama that you love her when you just got rid of her? That doesn't make any sense. And so he's like, so Ricky was like, nah, dog, I don't know what you talking about, man. Because Ricky's all like in love, because he's kind of seen like the sonogram of his child or whatever. And then Ricky was like, I'm not really in love. No, it's just something to say or whatever. He was like, man, you soft. And then also he also says, when he's talking to Ricky's father, if you kick Ricky in the balls, he'll end up thanking you and apologizing for you, because he's real soft, dog. I don't know, he's real soft. And then they end up talking about Ricky's future, about him signing to the Patriots, signing a 2-year deal at the end of the season. And they both think it's a bad idea for him to sign it, because they feel like his career be over if he does it, and it's not a good deal and it's not beneficial. Then also Ricky having the concussions and suffering from bipolar. And so they're having a conversation about it, and they're talking about, does he know it's not a good idea for him to do that? And Ricky just wants to sign to a team, because right now he doesn't want anybody to find out that he's seeing a specialist, because nobody knows about Ricky's concussions or anything, and he really wants this Patriots deal. So, and his father gets on Ricky and was like, come on, boy, have you lost your mind? Why would you sign this deal? And then Ricky goes to T, you told your mouth. You ran your mouth. And then T was like, yeah, because, I don't think it's right. You change and you're doing this, you're doing that. Then Ricky goes to him, you sleep like 14 hours a day. So what are you talking about? You talking about my medical health? What about your medical health? T's a wee head. And Ricky threw a shot and was, you sleep 14 hours a day. Oh, goodness. And so then Ricky, he ends up meeting with the Patriots later on that day, and with his sports agent, Jason. And the offer on the table is a 2-year deal, $20 million, 10 years, 1 year, 10 million, second year, 10 million. And I don't know if that's, and it sounds like a good deal for Ricky. His agent think it's a good deal, and they're even gonna deal with him, even though he's bipolar, whatever. But Ricky wants to tell them that he has a concussion, and he admits to the representative of the Patriots that he has a concussion. And Ricky was like, you know what, I'm tired of hiding, I'm tired of lying. I just want to tell you this up front before he signs the contract, because Ricky didn't sign the contract. He should have signed the contract and then later on said that he had concussions and then they can get him help or whatever. And then he would have got 10 million maybe, or he would have got a couple of million, maybe 2 million. So anyways, the representative said, hey, let me go outside and let me call and see if we can get you checked out, get everything together. So all of a sudden they hear a car engine turns on and the representative is gone. So Ricky made a big mistake. He messed up, but Ricky is in this point where he's just feeling like telling the truth and being open and honest with everybody, being more emotional, more sensitive, and not really caring whether he's doing something wrong or bad to himself. He just wants to be him, and he don't want to sign a deal on a false pretense, and which he might regret in the future or he might not. But now everyone's going to know that he has a concussion and he's suffering from bipolar. So it's almost like the ending of his career, where he may have to retire if this concussion and this bipolar issue doesn't get cured anytime soon. And we know sometimes some people get cured and some people don't get cured for bipolar. Same thing with concussions. And so then Charles is looking up. He's looking good. He's looking great. He was talking to, the owner and everything of the Dolphins. And he was talking to the new head coach for the Dolphins or whatever. And he got him that job. And so the guy said, you know what, you looked out for me, I'm going to look out for you. I'm going to support you and everything or whatever. So due to that situation, Charles going back and talking to the GM and talking to the manager of the team or whatever, and making Seifert look bad. So they end up getting rid of Seifert. Larry Seifert end up getting rid of him, and he's being let go. Then Charles goes to talk to Seifert and be like, hey, I didn't want it to go down this way. I didn't want this to happen. And so, Seifert's like, well, you made a better move than me. You chose right. You did this, you did that. So, they getting rid of me. They're going to make you number one. And Charles feels happy about it. He was like, oh, shit. In his head, he's like, yeah. And so he feels like, oh, maybe now he can be the boss and run things right. And so Seifert is like, they're going to pick you. He was like, well, you did it. You played the game like you're supposed to. I taught you well. And so Seifert is out. So then Charles, he goes to talk to the owner of the Dolphins, and he says, hey, listen, you're my number two, letting Charles know that he's not going to be number one. And actually he wants Charles to go out and find a new GM, find a new GM to replace Seifert. So they're not giving it to Charles at all. So then Charles is like, hold on, but wait a minute. To Matt, he's like, wait a minute. So any GM is going to want to bring his own number two. They might not keep me on. He was like, well, then that's totally up to the GM, but I'm going to back the GM. So it seems like Charles made a big mistake by going behind Seifert's back and backstabbing him, even though it was kind of like the right thing to do. But he didn't think about the consequences, where if he gets rid of Seifert, if they don't choose him to be number one, then he's going to ultimately lose his job. And at least, Seifert did take, credit for a lot of what Charles did, but him taking credit for it makes Charles and Seifert look good at the same time. But Charles going behind Seifert's back, making it look bad, and telling, the owner that Seifert didn't even fire the last coach he had to, and basically cinching and telling, thinking that he was going to have a better position, and boy, he did not get a better position. Basically, he's going to have to look and find his own replacement. So he's not feeling that situation. So he goes home, talks to his wife, and he's going to write a letter to resign from the team because he ain't gonna be nobody's sucker. So he got his crack back. Everyone's getting it. And so we'll see what happens. And Reggie's trying to do his own thing, and he hasn't even been in this episode But I know Reggie's up to like investing money and doing something else. And Vern, we didn't say anything about Vern, him back in the game, or anything about that yet. But I guess next episode we'll see. It just seems like, I don't know. You think The Rock is gonna end up The Rock? You think Spencer's gonna end up going against the deal he originally made, or is he gonna try to find some way to pull his deal off? And is Ricky gonna get better? And is Charles gonna regret his? I know Charles already regret his decision, but is him and Seifer gonna meet up in the future? Are they gonna be rivals? Are they gonna be competitors against each other? Or are they gonna work together? So anyways, peace. I'm out. Thanks.